Hello, everyone. Welcome to Into the Studio, a podcast where two guys who don't make music try and find out why others do. As you can see, neither of us are musicians. One of us is an actor, but we are back with another stellar episode.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we could not get a hold of Lil Nas, but that is who this is about. We can't get him for an interview. He's a very busy man right now.
Understandably.
Yeah, obviously. Lil Nas is so big right now. He's doing a lot of stuff. I'm so excited.
Yes.
It's my time to go down.
Anyway, you guys spend more time with me and Matt anyway, so don't complain.
I don't know anyone who's not talking about Lil Nas X right now. He is like the talk of like all queer people in my circle right now.
And like, regardless of what we talk about now, by the time this comes out, he's probably already done what is he even doing right now? Tell us in the comments. Literally, wherever we're posting this, tell us what he's doing right now.
Literally.
We're behind. We're in the past. But what's he doing right now? Right now, the whole birth. He gave birth.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. The whole pregnancy PR stunt was so a time.
I loved it. I'm living right now for Lil Nas and this birth.
Absolutely. Basically, if you aren't up to speed with what Lil Nas X has been up to, he had basically posted a photo of him being pregnant, and the due date was of his album Montero, and it was a whole build up. Like, he was posting TikToks with like his pregnancy belly. He had posted TikToks of him being like, hey, it's my baby shower, but no one showed up.
No, I about cried.
Yeah,
It was so sad.
I was like, I'll show up to your baby shower. I'll bring a cake.
Literally, invite me. I will bring you a gift next time you get pregnant.
Yes. Oh my god. And yeah, there was a lot of like PR stuff that he was doing on TikTok, especially, that was so funny. But yeah, he gave birth on the day of his album release, and it was a whole video of him literally giving birth to his album.
But it's been so good. It's been so good. We actually gotta talk about his music, not just him being pregnant about it, but like the cover art. I have personally, just a little personal background. I have a book that comes in a box. It's very special, right? It's filled with fairies. It's like these paintings and these portraits and like not any stories. It's literally just artwork of really beautiful like fairies and like gnomes and stuff like that. And this album has given me such like nostalgia for that book that I have. When I say I have been living for this album, I really mean it. Every single bit of this album has been in the same like super like extra bright, extra colorful, like almost too real kind of thing. The same way that these portraits in my little favorite book have been painted, and it's like,
Yes.
I can go on for hours about how much I love this, because like the way he promoted it is if you haven't seen, it's his PR team is working like extra. His PR team, give them raises, give them their own mansions, give them
Their own mansion.
I don't know. I will personally marry everyone on his PR team.
Getting some polygamy rep.
Yes, me and all of Lil Nas's PR team, I will marry you right now.
Oh my god.
Because your creative direction, I'm sure Lil Nas had a big part in like his own creative direction, but like everything that has been put out.
Particularly, okay, can we talk about Industry Baby real quick?
Yes, let's talk about Industry Baby.
The PR for Industry Baby has been okay. So we have to go back a little bit. We have to go back to the Satan
shoes.
They're okay. So there's a lot going on here about the Satan shoes. Basically, there was an entire controversy about shoes that Lil Nas X had collaborated on with Nike.
No. He did not collaborate with Nike because they got mad they used his shoes. He collaborated with Mischief.
There we go. Nike got mad, but Mischief collaborated with Mischief.
And it was because it was the joke. It was the promotional, like, there's a single drop of human blood in every pair of shoes. And Nike was like, we don't want to be associated with this Satanism.
Yes. And was this like rumor or factual that only 666 shoes were
No, that's all that
created?
was.
Okay.
They sold for like a little over $1,000, but there was only 666 shoes.
Yes. And so now that we have that, Nike got mad. And so with Industry Baby, the way that Lil Nas X used the PR for that was basically being like, I gotta go to court for these shoes that had blood in it.
Because Nike was going to sue him for, I don't even know what they were going to sue him for.
It's still unclear to me if it's like Nike actually got mad or if it was still a PR stunt because I can't tell anymore.
No, I think Nike was upset that he used their shoes and like clearly stated like their logo.
I have no idea.
Like if you go onto the website for Mischief and Satan shoes, that stuff like that, the Nike symbol is censored out. Like it's actually like censored out. There's a censor bar that follows as you scroll. It's so funny to me.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So like legitimately.
Yeah. So with the PR about Industry Baby, it was all about like, oh, when my label says I have to go to court on Monday, but he just posted a bunch of videos of him just like clowning around on TikTok.
Please go follow his TikTok.
Yes. And it was just basically the PR of like, oh, I'm gonna be in jail, like I'm gonna go get arrested. And then when Industry Baby like was actually set to release, he had posted his mugshot. Like there was a bunch of news articles going around being like, Lil Nas X is set for court, like set for go to jail this date. And
this is the collaboration with Jack Harlow, right? So like you can find the
Yes.
promotional material of both Lil Nas and Jack with like their mugshots. It's so funny to me.
It's amazing. And it started like people started really like genuinely believing like that this man was going to get arrested.
Yeah.
And like that everything was happening, like everything was about like a real court case going on. And then he just drops on, he's like, yeah, I got arrested, a music video for Industry Baby.
It was such good promotion for him. It was such good promotion
It
for him.
really was, because like even with me, I take everything literally. My
Yeah.
brain a little bit funky. So I was like genuinely like, oh my god, like this man is arrested. He drops the music video. I'm like, oh my god, I was duped.
Dude, for sure. But it was like I'm sure he actually went to court for it and like came to a settlement or
I have no
something
idea.
or they had to remove the Nike symbols from the shoes, something, I don't know. But this is the episode where not the episode. This is the song where it opens up where Lil Nas is in a courtroom and Lil Nas plays every character in all of his music videos.
Which is
I don't know if you know that. Like you can go watch Industry Baby and he's the judge. He's also being arrested, but he's sentenced to 5 years in prison at the beginning of the video, and then like there's a 3-month like this is his stuff so cinematic, like its own little short stories, like shorts, like short films, but it comes into within 3 months he supposedly has the entire like prison wrapped around his finger, all the other inmates, all that stuff. One inmate passes him a book from like a cart that has a pickaxe in it, so Lil Nas escapes that way. But the reason why this is my favorite bit of this episode, not the episode, I keep saying episode, favorite bit of this song and this music video that's part of, the guard doesn't notice him escaping because the guard is watching Montero, Call Me By Your Name. The video where he lap dances Satan.
Yes.
He's watching that one, and he doesn't notice Lil Nas escape.
I love his music videos. And basically just I don't know, I can't word what I'm trying to say about this music video.
So I do know a lot of people thought that at least I was led to believe that the whole baby scenario, the whole baby PR stunt was for Industry Baby. It's not.
That would have made sense because baby is in the title, but
actually Industry Baby is like a play on the words, is like industry plant, because Little Nas would be the exact opposite of an industry plant. You know what I mean?
right.
It's like one of the things where industry plants just had to do things, set out like a certain they want you to do something to make the population think a certain way or like believe certain things or fall into like certain categories. You know what I mean? So Lil Nas would be the exact opposite of that because of what he's doing. And if you don't know, Lil Nas is like literally changing the world right now, like changing the world of like hip hop and rap and like country music and like What were you gonna say? I'm cutting you off, but like there's a whole subsection of like what he's doing specifically to country and rap music right now. The combination of the two, right? Let me find it. There was.
Well, with Old Town Road, like I remember before I listened to his music, like we've heard Old Town Road like everywhere. Like it was on Musically at the time before Musically became TikTok. I heard it on the radio. I heard it everywhere. Like when the Billy Ray Cyrus remix came out, like that was everywhere. It became a meme. And I had only heard of him through that, and I remember the news articles and like the things I was hearing on the radio circling around is that like people were mad because there was this person, I guess, like quote unquote ruining traditional country music and fusing like hip hop and country together. And then that's all that I had ever heard about it, like through like news article sources. And now people are mad at him still for like, I guess, maintaining like more like traditional rap artist style, but more in the sense of like that he is explicitly gay in his music. And now people are mad about that, but it's changing the industry because rap is very cis het dominated. So you'll see like a lot of rappers rapping about like straight hetero things
Or like explicitly homophobic stuff. So like,
yeah.
that's a big part of it. So when you have like an openly like black gay man coming in and being like, actually I am gay, actually I am a musician, actually I do make country music. But like little Nas, like in Ultra Round specifically when that first came out, aside from like the remix, which is pretty good, just let's give a little background to Old Town Road. Little Nas came out as gay in June 2019. He came out to his sister because he felt the universe was signaling him to do so. This is why I think it has to be Lil Nas. It can't be any other guy. It has to be Lil Nas because he himself says the universe was signaling him to come out to his sister. On June 30th, 2019, the last day of Pride Month, Lil Nas came out publicly as gay. And there was apparently he was being too ambiguous about it because he was like, hey, I got a little secret for you guys. Watch to the end of this video, and he released something, right? And at the end of the video, he held like a gay flag, or like there was a gay flag present, and like people were just being like, "Oh, he's not gay." And I'm just like, generally when he's like, "Hey, watch to the end of this video," and he's holding a gay flag, I think that should be pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. People before Montero got released, just Call Me by Your Name, people were being homophobic in the sense that they were like, oh, well, I like Lil Nas X because he's not explicitly gay in all of his songs and like explicitly like throwing it in our face. Like I accept gay people, but not like what, because you can't be gay, but I'll accept you. Like that type of mentality.
And then he drops Call Me by Your Name, where at the very end of the video he lap dances Satan, right?
And people were like, goodbye.
But back to Old Town Road, right? That's when he came out. Let me further back before he comes out, right? December 23rd, 2018. This is when the world changed for Lil Nas, right? Old Town Road, self-uploaded as a country song. He uploaded this song as a country song. And now everyone kind of like puts in like the country rap, country trap music, right? But it wasn't a really well explored or well known genre in 2018. So Old Town Road, at the time of it being uploaded as a country song, gained a lot of popularity as a country song. And then when it kind of made it into the Hot Country Songs chart, they reviewed it and took it out of the country songs. They took it out of the Hot Country Songs and denied him his privilege of country music. But no, they do like the review stuff. Like they don't care about the lower stuff when they're brought in, but like when things get onto charts, they need to make sure it's in the right genre, which understandable. And they reached out to like the Sony in Nashville to make sure like, hey, are you associated with this? Is this actually country music? Is it endorsed by a country music production? It was not, right? It's self-uploaded by Lil Nas. Since it wasn't, it got removed. After that, though, this is where Lil Nas starts changing stuff. After this happens, there becomes this kind of influx into country music where more trap beats are introduced into that genre of country, like country music. and it sticks. You can probably listen to any country song that's out now, like coming out now, and it's gonna have like a trap beat in it. And Little Nas is no longer in the hot country songs, but the entire country genre has been changed by Lil Nas, and that's not just the
Yes.
only genre.
I think that we should talk about That's What I Want,
That's what I want.
because
Oh my
I
God.
love that music video.
I have nearly 2 whole pages on That's What I Want,
Oh my god.
and I have in the like it's put That's What I Want, and the subtitle. I have a lot to say about this one.
So, I also have a lot to say about this video.
Great.
So, okay, That's What I Want. It starts out with Lil Nas basically, okay, so he is a football player.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts out with him being wheeled away to the locker rooms because he has an injury. And in the locker rooms, he encounters a man, and they start making out and doing intimate things.
And they endorsed safe sex because he
Yes.
used a condom.
Yes.
People are mad about that.
People are mad about that?
Yes.
What?
They're mad specifically, one, he's a gay man.
Well, yeah.
Engaging in homosexual activity, but also
Homophobia.
because I don't think we even cared about the condom. They just were mad that he was gay and being gay in that moment. But
Okay, I thought you were gonna say
no,
like
I'm sure people were mad. I'm pretty sure like people were actually mad about the condom and like you shouldn't be endorsing this behavior, especially like he was sponsored and like endorsed a condom, and people were mad that like it was in the scene and like that's what the scene was. And I'm just like, I think you're just homophobic.
Yep. I don't think it's about the condom. I think you're just straight up homophobic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he encounters this man, intimacy, homosexual stuff incurs.
Not explicitly shown. Don't get your hopes up.
Don't get your hopes up.
Listen. Just like Industry Baby, people were in the TikTok comments going like, "I'm gonna need an uncensored version of this for research purposes," and I'm like, "Leave, get out of here. You're not gonna
Oh
get the
my
uncensored
God.
version."
People just being people on the internet.
Yeah, we've all been there. We see them. We encounter them.
Anyway, so the story continues with this same man in the video, and it gets to they fast forward, like they're at a campfire, like just spending time together, and he brings flowers to his door.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yes.
So, as it goes, it's implied over the time period that him and this guy have gotten pretty close. They're dating. They're going out on dates. They're doing a bunch of stuff, right? And Little Nas goes to his house. He's in a black tux, and he has like a bouquet of roses behind his back. And he goes up to the door, and I'm like, is he asking him to like prom or something? And he might have very well been, but my brain goes like, because the end of the video is a wedding. He's gonna ask that man to marry him. But what happens when he opens the door, or when he knocks on the door? That boy's wife and child answer the door.
Yes, and this is a point to what the gay community refers to as DL, or down low, which is basically a man who is not out explicitly as gay, and they keep it on the down low.
But that comes into like a lot of them will have like cover up girlfriends or wives and like have families, and like they're just like, I'm going to leave this gay man on.
Yeah.
No.
There's a few people who are like not out yet who, like Nylon said, have like cover up girlfriends and wives, or sometimes entire families, because like sometimes you get into the situation where you realize you're gay very late in life, and then you just
At that
have a
point-
family.
At that point, you feel locked in. Like, what am I supposed to do about it? So you cheat on your spouse? No.
But yeah, that's I don't want to say like a common situation in the gay community, but it is very well heard of like DL men. You're dating them for a while, or like sleeping around with them, and turns out that they just have like a whole other life that they never told you about. So he ends up trying to propose to this man. Doesn't go well. Wife and kids come through. And then it cuts to the next scene of him in this beautiful wedding dress
Oh my God.
at the altar in a church. It's like the most extra dress that I've ever seen, but like I love it. And he is just playing guitar, crying, like eye makeup running down his face, just going through the chorus, and there's a lot of emotion happening, and it's very clear, like, you know, the whole song is about Lil Nas wanting to find someone who loves him.
As the chorus says.
Yes, and
I'll
find
read the lyrics so
someone.
people have context. It's like,
Do
I
it.
want someone to love me. That's what I effing want. Like, and that's when he's on the altar. He has his guitar in hand, and it's a zoom up of him, like his tears streaking down his face with like his makeup, and he just yells, "I want someone to love me. That's what I effing want." I'm like, heart wrenching, because around me making this and pulling up the assets and like finding the information for this, I was scrolling on my TikTok as one does, and I find a video of like a young black man, like a gay black man, right? Just so we're all clear, he was gay, but he had gotten into a relationship with the download man, not aware that he was a download gay guy, right? And he got left. He found out he had a girlfriend or something along those lines. I'm like, that's really convenient for me to find that right now. And the stitch, or how TikTok works, is like you can take it part of video and play it over and then talk about it, right? Someone had stitched that and where showed him crying over this guy who had a girlfriend and was really just using him for pleasure and not willing to like address his own personal stuff, right? And it was just yelling, "This is why you deserve somebody who loves you. You deserve somebody who loves you. You don't play around with people who aren't out yet. If you're out and you have opened yourself to love that way. Like, don't play around with people who aren't ready to accept a very big part of themselves, because they're not going to accept any part of you that way." And it's a lot harder, especially for a lot of toxic masculine fathers, to address the fact that their son's going to be gay. You deserve somebody who loves you.
Absolutely.
And I hope very much so that you don't go after download men.
It's also the thing that you don't want to confuse down low men with like people who just aren't ready to come out for safety reasons. Because like also, yeah, they could be down low for safety reasons as well. But like if you're going to enter yourself in a situation like that, you have to be prepared for like quite literally hiding your relationship, and you have to make sure that it doesn't get to a toxic level.
And like that brings to the point, like Lil Nas is doing the thing where he's not the first gay black man to make music or to be an actor or to do anything, but he's like the first one everyone knows. And I think it's because Old Town Road was like, I don't know if you guys know what Old Town Road's about, but it's not child friendly. As much as kids went to scream at the top of their lungs, Old Town Road was drugs, stuff. I don't know. Kids should not be screaming it. I can't find it, but like
I don't know where it's at. But anyway, Old Town Road, it was not a kids friendly song. Lil Nas, I think expressed that it was about drugs on Twitter, because someone had tweeted out something along the lines of like, you won a Kids Choice Award for Old Town Road. You shouldn't be making Montero or Call Me By Your Name. You shouldn't be making content like this. Like, it's kid friendly. Like, you made Old Town Road kid friendly. And he had quote retweeted it with something along the lines of like, that song was not kid friendly.
I think people were mad because he made Old Town Road and it was like a really catchy beat. It was everyone's heads. It was all over the radio. And then here he comes out starting out in like a hot pink cowboy like get up. And I'm like, what are you doing, Lil Nas? Well, who is your tailor?
I want a pink cowboy hat.
Honestly, no, I want the full fit. I want the full pink, hot pink, sparkly cowboy outfit. But people were
I just
mad,
want the hat,
right? And when he was doing that, he came out with Old Town Road, and then he actually like came out as gay. People were mad. But I'm sure if you know anyone who's come out recently, it may be in part to Lil Nas. It may not be. But Lil Nas, like, legitimately, he's like, I've lulled everyone into a sense of security, and then, haha, secret homosexual. he came out. He came out pink suit and everything, and then he came out with Montero and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and I genuinely appreciate how unapologetic that Lil Nas is in his music videos and his lyrics about his sexuality, because we don't see that a lot. We see a lot of subtleties, especially in like media, especially in songs, of just like alluding to the fact that people are gay, unless they're like one of the few that are extremely explicit about it. And the fact that he's just kind of unapologetic, and he's also funny, which I think
I love Lil Nas so much.
It's changing the industry and allowing more queer artists to move forward with just being explicitly queer, and not just like, oh yeah, I'm queer, but like I don't sing about it. Like,
I'm
it's a
not
part of
one
your life. Sing about it.
I'm not one of those queers. Like, okay, I guess throw us under the bus. But about coming out, Lil Nas had written something to himself on Twitter publicly. I'll read like his little tweet, right? Because you'll see what I mean. Dear 14-year-old Montero, I wrote a song with our name in it. It's about a guy I met last summer. I know we promised never to come out publicly. I know we promised never to be that type of gay person. I know we promised to die with a secret. But this will open doors for many other queer people to simply exist. You see, this is very scary for me. People will be angry. They'll say I'm pushing an agenda. But the truth is, I am. I'm pushing the agenda to make people stay the F out of other people's lives and stop dictating who they should be. Sending you for love from the future. That's a pretty powerful message, and
Definitely.
it's one thing to hear it from me, but to attach this is what Lil Nas wrote. He wrote to himself.
I wanna talk a second about Lil Nas's future messages to himself because he had posted 2 videos. One of him before he blew up and was like writing his songs, and he was basically just talking to himself, future him, about like being like, how's it going, like did your song blow up, like what's going on.
Forgot about those.
And then there was another one of him before I think before the album came out, or like no, I think it was like a year ago or something like that, where he was still like struggling to make ends meet. And like he had posted a video of himself like just eating pizza and being like, so where are you at, like future me? And I just think that is amazing. I took inspiration from this. There's a video on my laptop personally of me being like, where you at in a year that I'm gonna revisit when a year has passed.
I think that's like the most powerful form of manifestation I can picture right now. He said, where are you at right now? He's like, you better be somewhere better than right now. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go home and do that.
Lil Nas's story is also urgency, because if I recall, like at the time when he was making music, he was living at his sister. Yeah,
yes.
living with his sister because he had. Did he get kicked out? Or like what? I don't remember what happened.
No, I think he dropped out of college and moved in with his sister. I'm assuming his parents may have had an issue with him dropping out of college to pursue music. So he moved in with his sister. But then at a certain point, she was like, hey, you're going to have to move out soon. And then he purchased the beat for Old Town Road and then released it. And then it climbed very quickly.
Yeah, so it's one of those like stories of like
Right place,
urgency
right
where
time.
like, okay, I need to do what I need to get on that hustle and just make music, do whatever happens. I see this a lot with like queer people of color artists, and I am thrilled genuinely that Lil Nas has blown up to the extent that he has, because he's such a good role model for queer people of color, and it's great.
And people have issue with us saying that because it's like, but all of his music is filled with like sex and like homosexual activity. I'm like, he's gay.
Have
and
you
an
heard
adult.
every like mainstream like either rap song or like pop song?
Yeah.
It's about sex and drugs. Like
He's doing the same
sex,
thing.
drugs, and rock and roll. That's music.
He's singing about the same thing. The problem is just he's gay. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're just homophobic. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And Lil Nas does not have time for homophobia. I mean, obviously, he just had a baby. He doesn't have time for homophobia. But about the pregnancy again, I want to bring it back up, right? There were specifically trans people who were upset about the pregnancy.
I want to talk a bit about that. I
Yeah.
understand where it's coming from, because there are men who can get pregnant. Like that's just a thing that happens. Like, I mean, I've gotten a hysterectomy, but like before that, I could get pregnant.
No babies for you.
And not a lot of people, that's really stigmatized. And there's a lot of people circling around how like it could be transphobic and stuff like that. That was a lot of the online discourse for a while.
On top of that, there's women who say he's mocking pregnancy and like it's like the slapstick, like, haha, look, a man is pregnant, that's funny. Like, trans people aren't in mind, except you're wrong. If you go to Lil Nas's baby registry, you can actually find an organization for every song released, dedicated to trans, intersex, non-binary, POC, Black, youth like bail funds, like the first organization listed is for explicitly trans and intersex people. Like trans people were thought of.
Yeah.
He knew what he would do. He knew what he was doing. He knows what he's putting out.
Given he's not the greatest, it's still bare minimum for the trans community, but like he is a trans ally, at least coming from a trans person, where because like he had retweeted or he had tweeted something that was like pregnant women, show me your bellies, or something like that, and then retweeted that tweet and was like, pregnant people, like asterisk, like correcting himself. And like I said, I do understand the point of view where it's like mocking trans men, but like
there were a lot of trans men specifically who were like, it is so good to see like a cis man, like seeing a cis man happy in pregnancy. Like obviously it was like for promotion and stuff like that, but like he seemed to really be living it up on his TikTok. But it was like seeing that so popularized and so in the media and so positively too. A lot of trans men were like I woke up, like I'm in my second trimester, I woke up this morning to seeing Lil Nas pregnant as all get out, and I started crying. And I'm like, I'm so glad that people are able to like see that and like take it that way, because like it's happy for me to see at least.
It's also the thing that I think that there's a lot of anti-blackness rooted in calling Lil Nas X out, because James Charles did a pregnancy shoot, and there's a couple of other like influencers who did like the male pregnancy shock factor.
There's movies about it, but like someone said what James Charles did was a hate crime.
Oh my god. We don't talk about James Charles.
Yeah.
But I think that there is a lot of anti-blackness rooted in people calling him out, because no one said anything about James Charles, who was a white man, but everyone started harping on Lil Nas X.
It has to be a combo of homophobia and like anti-blackness, because like Drake did not put on a pregnancy belly, but he did a whole pregnancy release like in the same.
He just had pregnant emojis.
Pregnant emojis. Yeah.
Pregnancy. I guess just like womb hood is the genre.
Why would you say like the?
I didn't know how
womb promotion. Womb motion.
I hate that. I'm leaving.
You can't leave. Anyway, in this 10-part essay of why I think it has to be Lil Nas, we will go over why he's changed the industry and why it literally has to be him. I'm just so excited to see what he's going to crank out by the time we finish this episode. Like, by the time this is out, I will probably be freaking out on all my social media, crying over Lil Nas. Because I already said I was going to marry him and all of his PR team. I will not back down on that. There's a threat.
All of his songs are on my Spotify playlist called Songs to Skateboard To When Your Brain is Juice.
Juice? No, he's not gonna liquefy your brain. He's gonna solidify it. All right, and we're gonna have to leave with that message. So, thank you for joining us this week, this day, on this evening. You can find us at our social media, Into the Studio, or _the studio on Instagram. Find out what we're doing there, see what artists we're interviewing next, what artists we may have on, who we may be talking about. You can go and interact with us there, tell us your questions, what you want to talk about next time. We'll be there. We'll see you there. I better see you there.
Bye.
Bye.